Here we go. So, hey, what's going on, people? It is Thursday, the 11th of August, and I have another guest, a very special guest. My big sister, Stephanie. Stephanie, what's going on?
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Good morning.
Good morning. It's really good to see you, Stephanie. This is
See you too.
wonderful. I'm really glad that Kareem suggested this,
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's
Now,
good
I'm
for
imagining that yesterday's video with Ron E. Beck from Omaha kind of inspired his thought to suggest this.
yes, yeah, I'm sure that it did. And that was such a great conversation you guys had. I
I
didn't know.
loved it. And so now you went to school with was Carol in your
Anne,
Anne Renee Beck. Yes. Okay. So I still talk to Anne a little bit online. This is
okay,
awesome.
cool.
This is awesome. So can everybody on the internet here, I want to congratulate my sister on her home, your new home. Look at that place that you're at, Stephanie.
It's gorgeous. It really is.
Yeah.
And there was no way I could have afforded to buy anything in Los Angeles County.
Hmm.
So I ended up way out here in Riverside County, which is this city I live in is a 2-hour drive from
Yes.
where I was.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you look like you're happily settled there.
Yes, I am. It's been 6 months and um, it's like a dream come true. I have my
Hmm.
own place. It's
Hmm.
really pretty. I always wanted it to be pretty.
Cheers. Cheers.
I got my ice water.
There you go. Right on. So we can visit, we can talk about whatever you like, Stephanie. Now, I usually do music, and the one thing I want to do while you're online is point out to people that this is your artwork
Oh,
on my
yeah.
second album.
I was so honored that you even chose that.
Well, if you, and then of course this picture of us from our
Yeah.
our history. But Stephanie, tell me about this. Is there anything to tell about this painting? I really love everything about it.
Well, I'm an abstract artist and I
Hmm.
really love color.
Hmm.
And I'm not sure where the inspiration came from, but the blue part of it, um, it is just something about art. It takes hold of you and it keeps going. And then you look up and say, wow,
Yeah,
I did. So it
it's
came out
beautiful.
pretty nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and I love the trays that you've sent me, and I have the one I inherited, the one that you sent to Pat. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So you're off work today. What you up to today?
Well, today, I again, this was unexpected. So this is a treat, a
Mhm.
real treat to be able to talk with you and spend just a little time.
Yeah.
Uh, I have different projects that I'm doing around my place just to
Hmm.
make it more like me. And
Yes.
today's project is to change the insulation around the front door
Okay.
because I'm not a smoker and my
Hmm.
neighbors are smokers. So that
Okay.
smell creeps in.
Yeah, it
And
does. It
I
does.
need to put a fresh one up. So I'm going to talk with maintenance to see what I should buy.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, speaking of neighbors, have you met any of them, or are you just kind of just keeping yourself?
No, this is the way they made these condominiums, they are in like quads. And
Hmm.
I've met all my neighbors in our little quad.
Oh, good.
Yes, everyone's lovely. We're all in the same boat. We all old. We're just happy to have our own places. So
Yeah.
this is going to be quite an adventure.
I love it, Stephanie. I'm so glad that you were able to move on from that job. When I was out there in 2016 and got to stay with you and see what you had done to that place, it was amazing. But that's stress that you don't need.
No, it isn't. And the little job I got for myself, I've been a manager for many, many years. So I
Hmm.
don't want to carry the burden of running anything.
There
I
you
want
go.
just enough, just enough. And so I got a perfect blend.
That's great. That's great. I tell you what, Stephanie, it's just really heartwarming just to be able to look at you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. We should have did this earlier. And Derek,
Yeah, I'm glad that Kareem suggested it, and just it's just kind of like a flower opening up the idea of
mhm.
communicating more like this. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm so inspired by all the conversations you've had with people that have come by to visit you and
Hmm.
you recorded it. That is such a great idea too, because history is it's more music that all of us are interested in learning about. And
Yeah,
so that was an excellent idea. And I'm so glad that more people want to sit and talk with you. This is awesome.
yeah, yeah. I've got some good ones lined up, and I also have one rejection so far, but I kind of expected it because this person is 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 a very good artist, but she's reclusive, and so I kind of figured she wouldn't want to talk online, and so that one's cool. But this is a great one, and so I'm thinking of a lot of longtime VC members who remember when you had a channel.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
So they'll be I know they all check in, so they'll be happy to see you. I'm going to go ahead and share this on Facebook because I'm going to let people know, you folks that have been missing you, Stephanie, on Facebook, you can see her today, and here she is.
Hello, everybody. Well,
Yeah.
I don't miss being on Facebook, but
Well, you ain't missing nothing. I mean, it's like, I've carved out my territory on there, but that place is a mess. Yeah, it's a
well,
mess.
now I use Instagram. That way
Mm-hmm.
I can keep up with my sons, keep up with you, my sister, and Floyd, and occasionally the grandkids, because the twins are on there as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
otherwise, I would be completely isolated, and I didn't want that. So
No, yeah, I'm glad you're on there. I like that. I like that very much. So you recently had a visit with the kids and the youngest grandson, correct?
yes, well, we planned that, and I went to Hollywood. I stayed in Hollywood, and we all got together to meet the young one. I don't know what the arrangements are yet, so
Hmm.
I'm still keeping on the low low. But
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay.
it was awesome to see that youngin. He's gorgeous. He seems
Hmm.
like a very nice person,
Hmm.
and we were all thrilled to meet him, and then just to hang out together like we do.
Yes.
We get
Yeah, I
together.
enjoyed the pictures very, very much. And as I've said before, that's the only regret I have, is that we are not able to physically just come together easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I thought was awesome is that here I'm living in this place, which is literally a 2-hour drive away from Sean, Kareem,
Hmm.
Adrian. It cuts those ties that you can't just jump in the car and drive over there. So
Right, right.
it's not that they weren't able to stand on their own 2 feet; they have.
Hmm.
But even more pronounced that, damn it, you better figure it out. They got
I
ain't
know what
nobody
you're saying,
else over
Stephanie.
there. Yes. So it's been great.
Hmm.
And to be away from that profession that I had, I'm in this huge house all
Hmm.
by myself, and
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
What a blessing. What a blessing.
Absolutely
So,
love it.
so to not stray too far away from what my channel is really about, which is music and art,
Yes.
you know, that you worked on some movies, or a movie, right? You did some
Yes,
movie work.
I did. It was a movie called Got Papers. And the
Okay.
reason I got that was because my neighbor, Rory, who was the costume director,
Hmm.
he needed a ride to a meeting with the director and the producer because he
Hmm.
didn't have a car. So he knocked on the door and said, Stephanie, can you give me a ride? I said, sure.
That's funny how it happens, huh?
Exactly. So we drive out to Van Nuys. We were living in North Hollywood. So I met the two fellas and they began to tell me about their project and what they needed. And Rory says, hey, Stephanie's an artist. She would be great doing. Oh, art director. Oh, we can, yeah, be an art director. I
Hmm.
said, okay, cool. Well,
Hmm.
Dereck, during the course of the meeting, I look over in the corner and there's this huge basket and it's full of photographs. These are
Hmm.
headshots
Hmm.
of all the actors, female and male, coming for the parts. What
Hmm.
do they do with them? They just toss them over in the basket.
Right.
And youngins were willing to do anything to get
Yep.
screen time. So
Yep.
I surmised that. I told both of them, say, hey, I don't do blowjobs.
Hmm.
So
Right
that
on.
they
Exactly.
understood there's no funny business here. And I got the position. And so it was awesome. And I don't think there's any music involved, but the beginning shots open with a drawing by a child. It's by my oldest grandson, Kalan.
That's right. So is this online? Could I see this online, do you think?
You it up on IMDb,
I'm
and
gonna check that out because it just occurred to me that by now there's probably some kind of link to it, or at least a trailer online, you know?
well, I haven't looked at it lately, but if you go to IMDb,
Hmm.
the movie
Yeah, I
site,
will.
you'll find it.
I will. Got papers. Got
Yes,
papers. Got
yes.
papers.
And as far as the music goes, I am so tickled to listen to you talk about artists I have never heard of. Uh, and I love that you are into international music in all genres. I love
Right
that.
on. Well, that goes directly back to our childhood, Stephanie. Remember those big volumes that mom and dad got us
Yes,
all over the music and that opened the world to us, to
it,
me, you know.
it did.
The other important one is how we used to go to the library downtown
Yes,
and check out books and records. And
yes.
that is so valuable. That was just so wonderful. Yeah.
And
So
then,
now you have a collection of movies. You don't collect music, but you got movies, right?
well, I don't collect them. I think of you as a collector, where
I am.
you'll buy labels. You'll buy
Yes,
music by a label just because it's produced by that label. But
correct.
me, I buy
Mhm.
movies because that's just something I want to watch.
Yeah, cool.
I do have quite a few. And like you, my tastes are varied.
Yeah.
I don't like horror movies.
Mm-mm,
I don't
mm-mm.
like that.
No,
And
me neither.
I like comedies and I like sci-fi and I like action film and I like a movie with a story.
Absolutely.
Sink the head in.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so I'm really enjoying that, and I got a really huge TV to watch it on, and I got a great sound system. So I'm thoroughly entertaining myself, whether I watch a movie or I
Hmm.
sit still in silence. I'm very happy.
Home theater is the way to go.
It is, and I remember back in the day before all this home theater stuff came out, I had hooked up speakers
Hmm.
to a receiver and hooked up
Hmm.
my VCR, and that's
Hmm.
how my boys and I would watch movies. We created our own home theater.
That's how you do it.
I did that back in the 80s,
Hmm.
and we've come a long way.
Yes, you have. I love it, Stephanie. So here's something I'd like to ask you, kind of philosophical. So, you and I have always been very close. And
Uh-huh.
Stephanie, one of the things that I've always, I'll say it, admired about you is how the sunshine of your spirit, no matter what kind of shit you go through, it never puts that light out. And here you are, happy birthday, by the way, in June.
And
And
happy birthday to you.
you have that youthful glow that a lot of people half your age have lost already. What do you attribute it to? Can you talk about your walk of life?
Well, yes, it started when I was about 16, and I really had a thirst for truth. What I
Hmm.
wanted was a bottom line that I could get to the lowest common denominator. And so from 16, and here I've been here 70 years,
Yes.
the bottom denominator, it is all from within. And so as I studied and I've read things from all over the planet that are
Yeah.
thousands of years old, and you have to take time to reflect on how does that relate to you. And so
Hmm.
regardless of how bad things have been, and I've been through some shit storms,
Hmm.
raising my kids,
Yes, you have.
yes, but learning the little bit of truth that I learned, I had to apply it, I had to walk it. And
Yes.
so that piece that I have on the inside helped me not be afraid,
Hmm.
helped me not to worry to the point of making really horrible decisions, although I've
Right.
certainly made those.
Right.
And so, Derek, it's not a surprise to me that I still do have a useful look, and it
Yeah.
is because not afraid, I'm not worried. And even though we got all kind of crap going on
Hmm.
in the world
Hmm.
today, it is this world, and
Hmm.
I understand that.
Hmm.
So I don't let that upset me.
It's a beautiful thing, Stephanie. I'm really glad that I asked you this because I knew that you could explain yourself very clearly. And it's something that I think more people need to hear from people who know it's the inner life.
It is.
And once you realize this, really no one can take it from you.
No, no
No.
one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why the search for truth has been so strong, because I watched in my history class in school that you could shoot somebody and that would end that regime, or you
Hmm.
could poison somebody and that would end that. But then here
Hmm.
comes another one and another one. And so I saw that the issues that caused the problems in the first place, they never got solved.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted something that had a solution. And so I'm not a religious person. I
Right.
don't do,
Right.
I'm not into that.
You
I think
escaped it. You escaped it.
I did. It was useful because that helped me get started on my way.
Sure.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
once you get to a point, there's graduation day and you move on to the next and the next. And it's an ever
Ever.
going.
Yeah. Never ending.
I don't consider them to be crutches. Everybody has to find their way.
Yeah.
So that was where I started, but
Hmm.
I'm nowhere near there today.
Yes, absolutely. That's the beautiful thing about it, to not be stuck.
Yes, to keep moving on and then to not knock anybody else
Hmm.
who's still at that position,
Yeah.
because here I've got all these grandkids, one day a great grandkid, and each time a new generation comes, it's the same old shit.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. It is.
Exactly the same.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
It doesn't
You're right.
change.
Yeah. So it's also another reason why it boggles the mind why it's so hard for us to get along, because it's just the same thing, but so it
Well,
is.
it depends on your group that you came from. If you
Hmm.
didn't have somebody in your family that pulled you aside to kind of show you what's up
Hmm.
or previews of what's to come,
Yeah.
then you have to figure that shit out on your own.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
mom and dad did what they could do. My
Yes.
grandparents did what they could do.
Yeah.
But it was up to us to take the initiative.
Yes, it was. But indeed, you need some kind of guidance to get going.
You do, you do.
Mhm.
So I
Cool
tried
stuff.
that with my sons, and I let them know that, and I know I've told them this before, that my reality is not going to be yours. And
Hmm.
so my perspective is mine. You have to form your own.
Right.
And
Right.
I never forced what I think about anything on either of them.
Hmm.
And I think that's a strong point. And you've seen the result in
Oh my
those.
goodness, yes, you're a wonderful parent, especially with the obstacles and the challenges that you faced along the way of raising the boys. I'll tell you what, when Kareem stayed with me last year about this time, it was such a lifesaver. And it was just so wonderful to see the person that he is. We all have our knots and dents, but Kareem is an amazing man. I
Yeah,
love
he
him
is.
so much. I love him so
Everybody
much.
has their faults, but at least he tries to deal with them, and he's still learning just like everybody else.
Totally, totally.
And same for Sean. So I
Yes.
appreciate both of them. I mean,
Yes, I'm hoping Sean gets here. He says he's going to try to visit Omaha next year. That'd be nice.
well, whatever he says, he usually does.
Hmm.
He usually does.
So this is just really killer, Stephanie. I'm enjoying the visit, and it makes me bring up another thing. So I've been talking about some of the past where we've had famous jazz musicians come through the house, and you don't remember none of them people, do you?
Well, here's what I remember. I remember whenever they would have practice sessions, and
Hmm.
somebody had a big ass organ sitting
Hmm.
in the corner where the TV usually would be, and there'd be guitars and horns, and all these big ass men would come through there.
Right.
But I didn't know who they were. I
Yeah.
just knew they were there because of our dad.
Absolutely. Yeah. Which was mostly my perspective too. Except I was really into the music, and so some people I did get to find out who they were. And then actually, it's been after the fact that I've been finding out who these people were.
That's the cool part.
Yeah, yeah. So like that organ, that was either Big Daddy Sales or our cousin next door, Ray Gibbons' dad.
Huh,
Yeah.
really? Hey,
Hmm.
I never knew whose shit that was or what was up. And I mean, I'm a just typical kid, just like you.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really under my radar. But
Mhm.
I think watching how you used to play with the little record player and the
Yeah.
little,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
makes sense looking back why
Hmm.
that would be more important to you.
Yeah. It's my life. So one real quick one, when we were on Spalding Street, Roland Kirk is the jazz sax player who became famous for playing 3, 4, and 5 horns at the same time, and he's blind. Okay.
Okay.
Now that visit to me is unforgettable for one reason.
Uh-huh.
When he came, he was ripe. He
Wow.
stunk the house up. You don't remember that?
No.
Now, see, I don't mean no disrespect to Rasan, but remember, this is a childhood memory.
Of
Now, I
course.
was fascinated watching him try to teach our dad how to blow two horns.
Yes.
But my God, you know, I was like, it was a really unusual kind of stink. You know what I mean?
I
So,
remember dad had a music studio at that time.
yes, yeah.
And that makes sense that he would come there and
Yeah,
they
it
had,
came to the house. Yeah, as well as, and we had the studio at that time, but he came over to the house, you know.
yes. Well, there was always people rolling up in there. There was
Yeah, there
always,
was. There was. I mean, it's like, it's amazing that, you know, everyone from John Coltrane to Dexter Gordon,
yes.
it's just, it's mind
Symphony, I
blowing.
mean,
Yeah.
all of those people. And yes, this was a regular occurrence.
Yes, it
It's
was. Actually, in a lot of black houses, homes of musicians.
yes, that's
Yeah.
what people would do.
Hmm.
And now looking back, I'm seeing that Omaha is a hub. And
Yes.
so no wonder, it's between here and Chicago. No wonder, and Kansas City.
Yeah.
No wonder people would be going through Omaha before they get to those other places.
Yeah,
So we
definitely.
have a really rich history
It,
with music. It is pretty interesting to look
it is
back.
interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting.
And
So
then
cool.
and then not to disappoint the folks, because I read some of their comments about the
Hmm.
music. Um, Again, you've mentioned to people the Beatles really changed your world. I'm telling you,
Yes.
that was a big game changer when they hit, I think it was about 1964.
Hmm.
So that was such an unusual way to present songs and
Hmm.
their whole look, and we
Hmm.
were impressionable. So of
Hmm.
course, that really fancied us, but our dad was pissed off. He
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah, I remember it very well. Matter of fact, I can actually kind of remember his reaction on the night of the Ed Sullivan show. Remember
Uh-huh.
that?
Yes,
Because
we used to watch that all the time.
yeah,
Every
their first time on there when he said the Beatles and the kids screamed on TV. Do you remember that we screamed in
Of
in
course
the?
we did. Of
Yes, we
course.
did. Dad was so mad.
He did not like
He
that.
didn't like that at all.
He talked about them so badly,
Yes,
so
he
bad.
did. Now you remember when he finally gave him some credit when they put
Mhm.
out Yesterday. Remember that?
Yeah, he did like that. He
Yeah,
did
he
like,
finally gave it up on that one. So,
and
but
his mind, he changed his mind so much after that.
yeah,
And because money was hard to come by, to be able to buy an album, to be able to buy a 45, that was a big deal.
a huge
But
deal. Yeah,
every time we got a little something, something, we did get those records and start that.
yeah.
I'm sorry I threw mine away.
We got through it. You know, it was quite a traumatic experience, that whole transition, but I learned from it. You learned from it.
Yes.
You know, we played the records to death. So if you still have them now, they wouldn't be collectible like collector's items are, but they're still collectible because they are the real deal, the first
The
run, you know?
first ones, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we were
Well,
there when.
I don't have any regrets because you learn along the way. I had gotten myself involved with different political groups, and
Yeah.
understanding about the world was changing. And so the Beatles represented something that I didn't think belonged in my life.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you were heartbroken as I'm doing this.
Yeah.
'Cause you was right there with me, going through all of that.
Yeah.
Uh, but the Beatles are still one of my favorites, and not just the Beatles, but so many of those bands that came through. I would
Yeah.
have rather listened to them than the James Browns and the Supremes and that,
Hmm.
because that really didn't vibe with me. It was many years later after we became older teenagers giving parties. That's when that was.
Yes. Yes. Boy, we had some killing parties. We sure did.
Yes, we did. And I'm a lot like you, Dereck. I don't just stick with what, oh, was she black? She like this, she like that. No,
Mhm.
I am
No,
eclectic. There is so much music in the world. Why would you only stick with one or two songs?
absolutely. Absolutely. I call
So,
myself a planetary citizen. This is my home. This planet
yeah.
is my home.
Well, we
Yeah.
actually got that from our dad, because our
Mhm.
dad, when he would put all five of us in the store in the car,
Mhm.
did he just drive down the street to the local store to buy bread? No, he would
Mhm.
go take us to Iowa.
Yes, I remember that now. I remember
So
that store. Yeah, I remember one
yeah,
particular store. Yeah. And
and
go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, he was just trying to show us,
Mhm.
just because you live here, you're not stuck here. The whole
Exactly.
planet is yours, the whole
Mhm.
universe.
And you know what's so funny about that? Going to Iowa to shop is one of the big memories was how the store. they got records in this grocery store. They're selling records.
And Homer's
Mhm.
was such a treat when
Yeah,
first started that the incense and the hippies and the psychedelic
right,
area.
right. He
Oh,
took us, yeah. He
fabulous.
exposed us to all that, which was really fantastic. You know,
He
it is.
did,
Yeah.
because his band would play there, and I think you guys as a band, did you guys play in the old market?
I played, I have so much history in the old market. My different bands. Yeah. Um, I'll say it. I wouldn't be surprised if after I'm gone, some part of the city and they put a plaque up about me or some kind of mess, you know.
I hope so, Derek, because you are what they're nowadays calling an influencer. Anybody who starts a trend and keeps it up, and all of the contributions that you've made musically, that's important. You don't
There's
want to
been a
forget
lot.
that. You don't want to.
I'm acknowledging it inside personally now. And now at my age, like, yes, I have done a lot. Yes, I'm happy that I followed this path. You know, I really am. Which reminds me, I'm going to be on the radio locally on Sunday, but the podcast will be online Sunday with this guy from England, Stuart Chittenden. And it was a really good interview that he did with me.
Nice.
And it really brought out, he did a lot of research on me and it kind of like, whoa, you know, it's
Wow.
like, you know what I
What
mean?
a
It's like,
it is, huh?
dang, I guess I have done a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yes. Well, Derek, I mean, dude, you've been on the planet for over 60 years.
Yep,
Oh, you
67. Yeah.
haven't done nothing by now.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well, you know, there's a few folks that are like that, but you know, I want to tell you, Stephanie, you have been such an important sibling and friend all my life, Stephanie.
Yes, it turns out that way, and it's not accidental. It's just the way we grow up and
Hmm.
mature. And as you begin to find your way in the world, I never had a set way to look at anything.
Hmm.
So even though you're my brother or our sister is our sister, I don't have a rigid tie to you. It's
Yes.
you
Hmm.
appreciate your ass or I don't. And
Yes,
I
yes, yeah,
actually,
which is beautiful. That's a
yeah,
really healthy way to see things, you know. I
and
love it.
I actually like you, and I actually
Thank
I
goodness. Likewise.
I
Likewise, because it ain't this, it's not, you know, I love all my brothers and sisters, but you know, me and James, you know,
uh,
yeah.
yes, yeah.
You know, I
So
just talked to him, you know, he's in the hospital. I think he's out now, you know. I just have
mhm.
to keep it real short. You know, I love him, but it's like I got to keep it short with him.
Well, sometimes, and again, if people need to hear this, sometimes the best way to be supportive to somebody is not to say anything.
That's right.
And whatever you're feeling on the inside, you can communicate that way because
That's
we
right.
communicate with each other internally anyway.
Yes,
So
yes.
I don't have any words to say to him.
Yeah, gotcha.
None.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And that's cool. And that's cool.
yeah, it is cool. And I don't live with guilt. I don't live with regret, nothing like that.
Right. So do you have any planned visits down to where the kids and Adrian are anytime soon?
Well, actually, Adrian is she had a plumbing issue in her house, and as a
Right. She
result,
told me about that. Yeah.
well, she took advantage of that and decided she was going to upgrade some parts of her house. So I was there
Yes.
last week, and I got to see what they got going on. And she's got a couple of floor lamps that I want to put one in my garage. I want to use it, so I'll go back
Okay.
and get them. But yeah, I'm telling you, Derek, 2 hour drive, that ain't no fun. Okay.
Not in California.
No. And
Mm-mm.
so if I go, I would stay in a hotel, but hell, I don't want to keep doing that over and
Right,
over.
right. That's crazy. That's crazy. But I understand. I understand.
Well, I think what I'll do is I will go visit. We'll probably all hang out before the month is over.
Sounds
Um,
good.
and whatever. But again, even that is not, it's all fluid.
Yes, absolutely.
I have ties to this world. I'm blessed to have a lovely family that
Mhm.
most of them I really like and I don't mind hanging out with. So, and
Yeah,
they like me.
right on.
So
It's so good.
I'm not like your typical person that just feel, oh, I have to be here. No,
Yeah,
no.
no, I feel very blessed. Oh boy, I just got the message. It's
I
running
see
me
it.
out of
I
time,
see it.
Stephanie. This is, but I don't want to subscribe to this damn Zoom so I can
No,
get
I don't.
unlimited time.
I
Okay.
don't need.
This has been so wonderful, Stephanie, and I'm gonna be bugging you again. I'm gonna be calling you on Zoom, okay?
Okay, yeah, let's keep doing this.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and it'll take about probably 20 minutes for this to upload, but I'm gonna share this, okay?
Oh, please do. I
All
love you
right.
so much. Derek.
Love you, Stephanie. You have a wonderful day.
I will. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.